My guest at the time was a first-round draft pick in the recent MLW draft. It is Davey Richards. Davey, thank you very much for taking the time to chat with me here today.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
So for those that don't know, like, what have you been doing the past couple of years, Davey? Why have we not seen you actively part of the pro wrestling landscape?
Going to school, going to a lot of school, being a dad, and
Sure.
there was a general consensus that I was retiring, but I never said I was retiring. I was wrestling since I was 10, so I was like over 2 decades. That's a long time. So I definitely needed a break. I had a couple nagging injuries, nothing career-ending or serious, but I reached a point to where I couldn't give 100% to wrestling and 100% to school and 100% to being a dad at that time. So I kind of had to make some decisions, and so chose to concentrate on school for a while and be a dad. And not that I'm not concentrating on being a dad. It sounds kind of weird, but I've reached a point in my academic career that things are kind of starting to wind down a little bit, so I can return to wrestling and give 100%.
Okay, gotcha. And so for those that don't know, you went and studied medical, right? Like, what exactly did you go get your what did you study, Davey?
So the whole time I was so I guess most people know that the whole time I was in Impact, and since then I've been a firefighter and a paramedic.
Right.
So my degree was in pre-medicine to go to medical school. So it was pretty intense curriculum. So I was going to school full time, working full time, and being a dad full time. So my plate was a little full, and I don't. To me, my match quality was always the most important thing about my wrestling career, and still is. So I would just feel horrible about someone paying full price to see me and they're not getting the full Davey Richards experience, for lack of a better term. So that was I wasn't going to compromise quality, in-ring quality, just to keep getting paydays. That's no, I wouldn't be able to sleep at night.
So why now then, Davey? So what exactly made you feel like now you could come back and give people 100% of yourself and give them the matches that you'd be happy with? Why now did everything line up?
Yeah, and it did just line up. So like I said, my academic career is like winding down to where it's a little bit, or quite a bit easier to go and commit fully to wrestling.
Okay.
And I feel, very, very healthy, very, very ready to be in the ring. And just kind of a really renewed passion and love for wrestling that I think, with anyone who does something for a long period of time, it fades somewhat. So a break was definitely needed, and to recharge the batteries, and like they're fully charged now.
Cool, man. So why MLW? Why did you choose to start with MLW then?
I was blown away, quite frankly, that when I announced I was going to return, that a lot of the bigger name promotions reached out, and
Yeah.
I was very, very humbled by that. And MLW just, I've always looked at wrestling as more a sport than entertainment. I think you should be so good at wrestling that it is entertaining. It's just my philosophy, in my opinion.
Sure.
So MLW was really in line with that way of thinking, how they present their product, and it's more sports oriented. So I was really, it was really organic. It felt like it just clicked right off the bat more than the other places at this time. So it was really an easy decision, to be quite frank. I'm really excited for July 10th and beyond. So it's I think it's going to be a good fit.
There's a lot of talent there that I could see you meshing well with. I think you and Tom Lawler,
Yeah.
that seems kind of a layup, right?
Yeah.
I think that's one a lot of people would like to
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
Yeah. Lawler, Hammerstone, Fatu. There's some good stuff there. There's going to be some magic, so I'm excited.
How has it been working with MLW management so far? What's it been like working with Court and the front of house guys?
Great.
Back house.
Great. Absolutely. I mean, I'm just blown away by how kind they are and giving and professional. And my experience, with really every wrestling company has been very positive. And this is, the MLW has exceeded even those, past experiences, and they've all been positive. So it's really good.
A lot of people, I mean, obviously, former Ring of Honor World Champion, but like a lot of people know you with the Wolves with Eddie Edwards. Was there any thoughts about maybe doing something with
Yeah.
Eddie? Yeah, or no? When you were deciding where to make the next
Yeah.
move?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. There absolutely was. Eddie had just actually undergone surgery, he has appendix taken out, so it wasn't really like he was kind of focusing on that. And the thing with MLW happened really quickly, and you know, I felt like it would be better, something we'd better do. It would be better after a year, to kind of, organize all the pieces. He's obviously in a different company than me, and doing very well there, and I like to do very well in MLW.
Yeah.
And I really think that that will only build the anticipation and the desire for us to get back together, which I feel we inevitably will. But it's a. I just think right now was not the right time for that, and I think Eddie would agree with me. I think, I hope, and but it's not never. It's more of a question than when than if. So just not at this time.
Okay. And then with MLW, obviously, like I said, people know you as a singles wrestler and a tag wrestler. Like, which would you like to be doing? Are you going to come in and go for singles gold, or do you want to find somebody to tag with? Like, what are your ambitions right now coming back?
I'm definitely open to tagging with someone else. I do maybe think that will be kind of a hard sell because I'm so synonymous with the American Wolves. Um, so at this time, I'm definitely looking to really make my stake there, or stake my claim, pardon, in singles competition.
Yeah, I kind of thought that might be the answer. So what do you think of Fatu? What do you think about the top champion at the moment there?
Dude, that guy is ungodly talented.
Yeah.
I mean, just yeah, ungodly talented. It's weird to view him as a big man because he's so, yeah. You can't put a label on someone that good. He's like literally just good at everything. It's like, well, what is he, like a technical wrestler? He can do that. Is it like a flyer where he can do that? And he's just, so he's very well rounded, which is very rare in wrestling. So I'm just blown away by how good he is.
Yeah, and you brought up Hammerstone a little while ago as well. Like, what are your thoughts on the other top champion at MLW has at the
Uh,
moment?
Again, yeah, I mean, that guy's got just obviously a superstar look, and he's got a work ethic that's really admirable. And I actually got a chance to watch him wrestle live at Global Syndicate Wrestling versus Chris Dickinson, and I was really impressed, and quite a bit jealous that I wasn't in there mixing it up. But soon, again, it's a question of when, not if.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he is jacked right now. Like, Hammerstone is on a different level.
Yeah.
Right? I was looking at his bodybuilding stuff, and I was like, holy dude, like, you're coming back
Yeah.
really, really chiseled here, to the ring.
Me and him will not be doing the Triple H Scott Steiner bench press competition.
Unfortunate. Last thing I want to ask you about, obviously, while we were talking about the tag team stuff, the Von Erichs. Like, what do you think of the Von Erichs? What do you think of kind of MLW's tag picture, just from the perspective of somebody who's obviously very well known as an expert tag team wrestler?
I think it's great. And the Von Erichs, we actually wrestled them, me and Eddie, a while ago in Texas, and they still are like heroes down there. So September 11th, I can only imagine the reaction they're going to get when we head down there. But yeah, and they've grown a lot since then. They were, I think they were still getting some experience under the belt at that time, and I mean, they've come so far. So I'm really impressed by them as well.
Yeah, for sure. And so, like, with the Von Erichs too, like, they, were the subjects of that great Dark Side of the Ring episode, The Last of the Von Erichs.
Yeah.
MLW is now with Vice TV as well. They've started airing stuff that's archived. It looks like hopefully some more first run stuff here in the not too distant future. What's your take on MLW, getting the Vice TV platform and moving into that space?
I think it's great. I think it's absolutely great. It's great to see a company grow. It's great to see, pro wrestling grow, especially after this last year and a half. I mean, it's just been, I mean, like I said, I work in the medical field, and, you have to keep track on, like, epidemiology, and then the mental health has just gone through the roof, and who could, who could blame anyone for that? We've been stuck inside. I mean, separation and everything. So just to see them growing, and other companies growing, and, people breaking out, and it's to me, like, I'm enamored by it. It's taken me back, and so I'm really excited for the Vice TV thing, and I think they're going to do very well there.
How hard was it for you, just on a personal level, to be in the medical field, living through this pandemic and working through this pandemic? I would imagine that's not easy, baby.
I definitely was not bored. I was, as a, essential person or first responder or whatever, like we were busy. I was probably doing like 60 to 80 hours a week. It was a lot, we saw a lot of really sick people. So, it's very reassuring to me to see those numbers drop. And, and I think going forward, people will be more mindful of like their health and things like that. So that'll be good. And I think it's going to I hope it'll bring all of us together, just kind of seeing like what we had and how easily that can end as far as like camaraderie and, interaction and stuff. And especially in like, entertainment avenues, because, like just having fans at wrestling shows, what I mean, is going to be awesome. I think I wrestled for PPW up in, north of Philly, but, let's say Pennsylvania. And, the fans there, it was like electric, they're just so happy to be there, so thankful, like I just bought tickets to a concert, a couple of days ago, and me and my wife, and like, we're just so excited. We're like, yes, we're going to go out and do something. This is going to be awesome. So, so I think it's going to be a really exciting time.
Was it really hard for you, like with the skeptics of the pandemic and everything, and you're like 68 hours a week, like seeing it firsthand, to kind of see some of that stuff out there?
Yeah, people are entitled to their opinion, and that's fine. And the thing with like data is it can be skewed so much and be presented in one way, and then you'll have someone else skew it in another way. And so my personal philosophy is better safe than sorry. I believe in freedom of choice, of course, but if it does, if you can save someone illness, save someone sickness, or perhaps save someone's life by wearing a mask, just wear the mask. It's not a big deal. It's really not. But when the whole time I was over in Japan, that people wore masks all the time. So, I'm a believer in vaccines. Of course, I'm going to support that because I'm in the medical community. But again, to each their own. I'm not going. I'm very much past the point in my life where I'm going to try to convince someone of my opinion, and my opinion must be right. It's just kind of like, okay, teach their own, but just, be egalitarian, look out for your fellow man, and if it's going to be a slight inconvenience to you that may save someone's hospital admission or even life, and just be a good human being and do it.
Man, dude, like I feel like I want to have like a whole other talk with you, like non-wrestling talk, about just like what it was like to be dude, we were at, I'm just a wrestler. I banged a pot with a wooden spoon for you guys for like, months or whatever at 8:00. That was like the extent of my giving back. It's really incredible that what you did, Davey. Just man to man, like that's awesome. Thank you for what you did.
Thank you.
That's really crazy, dude.
Thank you. It was my pleasure.
Well, we appreciate it. So back to the fans here. So fans are coming back, right? So are you say you've been out there, you've seen firsthand that, are you expecting like a big pro wrestling boom here now that fans can come back? Do you think the next 8 months are just going to be, yeah, just bananas for pro wrestling? Yeah.
Yeah, I really do. I really, really do. I think everyone is so hyped up, so rejuvenated. The fans included, and I think there's some real competition is vital for pro wrestling. And I think the big companies have not only competition amongst themselves, but a competition from other wrestling companies that are becoming more visible. Mm-hmm. So there's not that great divide from like say WWE to like independence anymore. That's like we may still be looking up to WWE, but they're still looking or not up is the wrong word. We might be looking at WWE, but they're looking right back now. So I think there's competition. I think everyone has something to prove, and I think everyone's rejuvenated and motivated. So I think all those things, everything's kind of falling back into line, and you're gonna create the perfect storm.
Yeah, for sure. And there have been reports that there could be some kind of relationship between WWE and MLW. I don't know if you know anything about that, or would you be supportive? Yeah. What do you think about?
Oh yeah. I think I think working together is as much as possible. It is a business and it is competitive, and I like that part too. But I think working together and the more opportunities that are created, the more motivated people are going to be to go out there and be the very best at their craft, which in turn will raise the product, which in turn will attract fans. So to me, it's kind of like a ripple effect. So I'm fully in support of it.
Yeah, for sure. And because I think we saw you in NXT. You had like one match, right? I think the Wolves Ascension was the match. So like you worked there. Why from your perspective, like why was that not a fit for you at the time?
It wasn't a fit for both of us. Because we would have been required to move to Florida. And Eddie's very, his family's in Boston. He grew up in Boston. So definitely understand that.
Okay.
I believe I had just got my paramedic. I just got my paramedic license. So I didn't want to because once you're in WWE, that's your life. I mean, it's full time, all in. And I wanted to obviously work as a paramedic as well, in addition to wrestling. So we kind of knew that wasn't just going to be a good fit for us. They were entirely professional, entirely giving in kind, no politics. We had a great experience, but it just wasn't a good fit. And probably for them too, they want obviously people who are fully committed, and we were kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out. So I think it all worked out the way it was supposed to.
Hey, Davey Richards, the Von Erichs, Fatu, you guys throwing popcorn in the front row. I mean, it's just fun, right? It just sounds right, Anyway. So
yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm very psyched.
So you referenced the PPW show. So with MLW, are you still going to be allowed to go out and do independence, or maybe even tour internationally here when things open up a little bit? Yeah. Cool. Is that on your butt?
And that was another.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's no, absolutely looking to travel. And that's a thing that was very attractive about MLW was they're like, I mean, they gave me some certain obvious companies I can't work for, which I'm pretty sure it wouldn't take someone long to guess those. Right. But they really want their talent to seek outside opportunities as well. They're very pro talent. They're very supportive. So yeah, because I love independent wrestling. I love traveling around. I love wrestling in front of a live crowd, and most of all, I like wrestling for 20, 30 minutes. My first match back in 3 years, I went 30 minutes. I mean? I like to take my time. I'm not, I'm not a 3, 4, 5 minute match kind of guy. I mean, I'll do it if I have to, but it's definitely not my passion. So, yeah, I very much want to be out there as much as possible and traveling around, going back to Europe, go back to Japan. And so the MLW thing again is another reason it was a perfect fit.
You're just back. Davey Richards is just back. We're gonna see you all over the place.
I'm all in,
man.
Yeah, that is the goal.
You can't say you're all in, then you're gonna start a whole kind of different clickbait headline kind of thing. That's gonna go a different direction. But I get it. You're all in. Yeah, you say you're all in, and usually people are like, oh, he's all, whatever. It's AEW stuff anyway. So maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I'm an idiot. Right. Yeah, well, anyway, we'll see how the sheets handle it, I guess. Be responsible, people, is all I'm asking. I'm trying to think now. I think that was it. I was just want to ask you about Japan and if we were going to see you back out there. Oh, no, that's what I was going to say. I was going to say I look forward to seeing you here in Chicago. You're coming to Warrior Wrestling, I think, next month. Where I get to do comedy.
Yeah, I'm oh, really? Yeah, I can't spill the beans, but I got a really cool matchup. So yeah, it'll be really cool.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't think. See, I got the Warrior Wrestling Children's Championship up here on my shelf, so I'm excited.
I see it. I'm definitely excited about that. And I'm sorry. Go ahead. Chicago's always a really, really cool town, so I'm excited to come back to Chicago.
Cool, brother. All right. Hey, Davey, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me here today. Very excited to see you off the chain in MLW and everything you're going to get to do there. Where do you want to send people to find you, follow you, support you, all those other great things?
My Twitter is @RichardsWesley. And then on Instagram, I'm Davey_Richards83. So they can just follow me on there. Like any kind of companies like Graps Apparel I'm affiliated with, they can find ways to order that stuff. It's really great. And most of all, the best way to support me is just support wrestling. Even if you don't like what I do in the ring, which is totally fine, go out and just support whatever you're into, man. Just be all in because, this whole thing grows together. And this last year has been a pain in the ass. So let that behind us. Let's all grow together and have a good time and support each other.